All right, so the first thing you're going to do, now before you cut anything on the exhaust, you're going to actually undo the nuts on the back of the exhaust. So even though we're marking 2 inches at the back of the can, which we're marking right there, back there, you undo those bolts first. So drop the exhaust down where those 2 bolts are back there. Now back up front, where I'm marking 2 inches, you want to mark off of the can, not there on the welds, not right there. You want to butt it up against the back of the can, just like that. So back of the can, mark your mark right there, back of the can, 2 inches, and then you can go ahead and cut it. It's going to be so much easier if you take the nuts on the back of the exhaust, drop down the exhaust, then cut it. If you leave the bolts up there and it all bolted up and try to cut it with a bandsaw, like I'm showing you right now with this Portaband, this is what I like to use. It'll cut a nice straight cut, but cutting it with a what do you call it, a Sawzall, you're going to cut it off on an angle. It could get too choppy, so you don't want to use a Sawzall. I would rather use a cutoff wheel or use a bandsaw that's on the ground like that for a cleaner cut. So again, first step, take the nuts off, drop the exhaust. That's the first step. And then you're going to cut 2 inches in the front. Now, once you get the exhaust on, it's going to look like this. The slip joint connector slides over where you cut the exhaust, and then the end of the exhaust, the new exhaust, bolts up to the back where you unbolted the stock exhaust. It's easy. My grandma could do this. It's so easy. It's really not that hard. So there's the slip joint connector. You've got a clamp that's on there, which clamps up to the Y pipe, which is the front of the truck itself. So again, pretty easy, super easy install. This thing sounds great. It's something that I'm leaving on my truck. I'm not changing a thing. I'm not going with anybody except for my exhaust. I love it. You know, none of the other exhausts with the drone going on. Mine doesn't have that. I'm leaving mine on. Mine is the only one in the world that has a Helmholtz resonator on it. Nobody else has the long Helmholtz resonator, so this is the go-to exhaust to make your V6 sound the best it can sound. We know these are not V8s. The V8s sound better. We know that. But for people that have the new 3rd gen, I mean, this is all we can do. This is the best thing out there that's going to be for you. You know, this is the only way it's going to sound throaty, but then not drone on the freeway. So thanks again for watching, guys. If you have any questions, you can give me a holler at tickweldingcreations@gmail.com. You can message me on Instagram. You can message me on Facebook. There's so many ways to get a hold of me. And I will put the link down in the description and information on how to get a hold of me.